or if I pick to see the love in the world, I'm going to see the world as love. If I pick to see the bad things in the world, I'm going to see the world as hate or fear.
Yep.
Now, I pick, okay, pandemic hit, this is an opportunity. That's that delusional optimism. That's that winning streak. Like, oh no, this is a winning streak. This is good because now we're going to launch this tour. It's perfect time to start a foundation. Now it's going to become a magnet in a world of darkness. If I'm a little light, all these people are attracted.
Yeah, it's contagious.
And I got surrounded by the greatest people on this earth, my team, and all my blessings came from the darkest moment. And I say, Santa Claus don't deliver the presents when it's bright out. Santa Claus delivers the presents in the dark.
For the dreamers, creators, those that strive and thrive every day. Tell the world what you dream, what gets you up and gets you going, that potential to make beautiful things. Make sure you live that life in vibrant color, bright, bold, and beautiful, like your soulful blood. Set those dreams on fire, make them goals, make them real, your reality. Remember, dreamer, your dreams are yours, you're in control, you are the author, responsible for the choices that you make and the path that you lead. Inaction and doubt has no place in your dreams. Don't hesitate. Set yourself free. Start living the dream. Keep dreaming, dreamer.
Today is a brand new day. I'm gonna start it soon. Someone deeper than the past. Something I'm about to lose. I don't feel okay. Moving on, a memories of you. Getting weaker by the day. Till eventually the truth.
My name is Charlie Rocket. I'm here on the Live Through Love podcast with Ruben Rojas. And in this episode, we talked about manifestation. We talked about unlocking magic through love. We talked about my brain tumor and how I became a Nike athlete and how, it did things in the music industry like winning Grammys and managing artists like Chainz. Enjoy this podcast. I hope it inspires you, and I hope you love a little bit more after you watch it.
So, Charlie,
My man.
welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm excited to be here.
And I just, I see what you're doing on Instagram, on social media with the dream machine and these things you're building. You're just taking over and showing people what is possible if people believe in you. And then if someone believes in you, you can then potentially, or you should, be able to believe in yourself, right? You've taken a homeless guy, turned him into an artist. You've taken people with disabilities and shown them what was possible. But what led you to this?
Well, it all comes down to the word dream for me. I've always been a dreamer. And, I buried my dream at one point. And I got gifted with a bad situation. I got gifted with a brain tumor. And the greatest thing about that moment was it took me back to my dreams because I used to be in the music industry. I don't talk about it much on in my Instagram, but I used to manage 2 Chainz. I used to manage Young Dolph, R.I.P. Young Dolph, Travis Porter. I used to manage Bankroll Fresh. So I'm from Atlanta. And when I buried my dream as a kid, I needed a new dream. My dream when I was a kid was to be an athlete, but I was always fat, or overweight. And no matter how much I chased that dream, I couldn't keep up with the rest of the kids at school. So I needed a dream I could actually be good at. So growing up in Atlanta, music industry, I was like, I can do that. And I gave myself like a superhero name. I called myself CEO Charlie. And I took it serious. I put a suit on. I ditched the backpack, briefcase, went to school, and I got into the music industry, built a website, became very successful, ended up on tour with Soulja Boy. We invented the vlog. We were the first ones doing that every day, putting out vlogs every day. Ended up doing well in the music industry as a manager. Then I got diagnosed with a brain tumor at the age of 28. I was 300 pounds. And in that moment, I'm just like, wow, like if I'm going to die, I want to experience my dream. And that was the greatest thing that could have happened to me. So I left. I left everything. Like I told my mom, I got my mom here at the podcast studio with me. She's visiting LA. And I told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna be an athlete. And I told my business partners and I told my artists. And we had an empire. And for me to walk away, it was a little confusing to everybody. Like, what do you mean? Like, we had just won a Grammy. Our first Grammy. We had been nominated for 5 Grammys before, but we won a Grammy. And a few months later, I'm like, I'm leaving. And they were like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to be an athlete. That's my dream. That was always my dream. And I got to experience that. And I was delusionally optimistic. Like I had to be at this point in my life because so much was going wrong and I was so lost that the only choice I had was to be delusional about the possibilities. And I said, no. I would write down in my notebook because I keep a notebook every single day. I call it my quantum possibilities notebook. And I write down all my dreams. And when I say quantum possibilities, it's like when I close my eyes and I can see visions, I don't take those things as like, what if? I take those things as like, no, those were given to me by God. Like that is a finish line. It's already done. Like if I could see it, I know it's done. Like it was given to me, like divine, like a prophecy. And so I'm like, no. Like that's real. And I would always see me in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. But once again, if I look at my stat sheet, 29 years old, 300 pounds, not athletic. But when I close my eyes and I see a prophecy, I'm like, Nike commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams being platformed with the biggest athletes in the world. So I believed in my dream enough to where when I would speak about it, I would speak so confidently. And I really believe in the term like abracadabra, because in its origin, like its meaning in Aramaic, means as I speak, I create. And a lot of people say, oh, don't tell anybody, like you'll jinx it. No. I believe that's like devil talk. No, tell everybody your dream. Like speak it.
Speak into existence.
Because I think about like species on planet Earth. There's one species that can speak. And there's one species that can create. I mean, a beaver can make a dam, but like we can truly create. You know, a bird can make a bird nest, but like we can truly create anything, but we're the only species that can speak. So there's something in correlation there. So we should never hold our tongue. We should tell everybody our dreams, and we should always be trying to, like the more you say it, the more you believe it. Like even when people lie, the more they say the lie, the more they believe it. But the more you say your dream, the more you believe it. And I would write down every day in my quantum possibilities notebook, I'm going to be in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. And magic just started coming into my life. Like I'm talking about miracles that, you know, they'll say like, oh, you got to work hard for something. Like it's not just going to walk in your front door. Well, sometimes miracles do walk in your front door. Like I wanted to make a fan-made Nike commercial, like on the level of Nike. Now I was always like a videographer, but I was like a vlogger, not like, you know, the cinematic with the color grading and the audio and the scoring and the Hans Zimmer emotional strings. And I was like, I'm going to find somebody who can make me a fan-made Nike commercial on that level. But I'm not in Hollywood. I'm no longer 2 Chainz' manager. And people really don't want to move for you if you're not 2 Chainz' manager anymore. You're just Charlie. And I was like, no, like I'm going to find somebody. So I started calling my Hollywood connects, and they're like, Charlie, like that's like 7 different people. Like you want to make a film like that? You're going to need a music guy. You're going to need a shooter, cinematographer, editor, director, color grader, scoring person, music, audio engineer, to mix and master the voiceover. That's what like Nike commercials are. They're like very well produced. This isn't going to be an Instagram clip. You want an Instagram clip? Go spend $1,500 and run around LA. You want to make a Nike commercial, you need a $60,000 budget. I was like, I'm going to find somebody who could do it. They're like, Charlie, you're crazy. And I'm like, calling on my connects. Everybody's telling me it's not possible. So one day right here in Santa Monica on Ocean Park Drive, I'm in my house that I'm living in with 4 other roommates because I had no idea if I'd ever make money again. So I was conserving my money. And I'm writing in my notebook. I said, today is the day I search/found my videographer/editor is done, ! It's easy, ! An hour later, my roommate walks in the front door. Behind him is a gentleman holding this massive like steady cam rig with all the hookups. And I'm like, now my roommate would never have a cameraman following him. He's an accountant, works at like a health food company that sells like dried berries to Whole Foods. I'm like, why would you have a camera following you, Morgan? He said, well, I just got a phone call from my friend and they wanted to shoot something for their Airbnb business. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy just walked in the front door. Like this could be a miracle. But then I looked at him and he was like very like gothic, like wearing all black, hair across his face, like the black earrings. And I'm just like, I'm very colorful and bright and happy. And I asked him, I said, you do videos? And he was just like, the second he opened his mouth, it was very negative. He was like, yeah, I do videos, but nobody ever pays me. I'm like, oh no, like, is this going to be the guy who makes my like feel good Nike commercial?
Yeah.
And like, I was like, well, let me see some of your work. I opened my laptop. I go to his website. He had a short film on there and it was amazing. I said, did you shoot this? He said, yeah, I shot it. I said, did you edit it? Because a lot of times the shooter doesn't edit in like big productions. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I edited it. I use Adobe Premiere. I said, who did the music on this? Because it was unbelievable. The scoring was unbelievable. And there's no way it was this guy. He said, well, I used to be in a rock band 15 years ago. We were on the Warped Tour. I do music. I was like, really? I said, who mixed and mastered this audio? He said, well, like I do all the mixing and mastering too. Like I have a studio in my bedroom. I said, who did the color grading? He said, well, I taught myself Da Vinci, you know, over the years. And I said, okay, like, do you own all your own equipment? He's like, even though nobody pays me, like I'm kind of like a hoarder. Like I just take money and I just buy equipment. I'm like, this guy walked in my front door. He literally, like the universe conspired. And he sent, I said, man, can I hire you? He said, man, I need a job. I applied to Hulu about 2 weeks ago and they wouldn't hire me. I said, look, we're going to make a fan-made Nike commercial and then Nike's going to sign me as an athlete and we're going to make the biggest Nike campaigns of all time.
No pressure.
No pressure. He said, dude, you're crazy. I said, no. Like it's real. I promise. We sat down at this little burger restaurant called The Counter and we had some vegan burgers and we drew out a storyboard for this fan-made Nike commercial. And I asked him, well, what's the budget going to be for this? He said, $150. I said, that's it? He said, we're going to need a PVC pipe that's 10 feet long. We're going to need, a belt, a skateboard, and we need to rent one lens for the weekend. And if we rent it on a Friday, we don't have to return it till Monday. So we get a few extra days for free. And we made this fan-made Nike commercial. And when we put it out, it put Nike's campus in a frenzy. And they called me and they said, we don't know how you did it, but everybody here is fighting over who's going to bring you to campus. They flew me up to Beaverton and I just thought it was going to be a cute little meet and greet. I got on campus, people were clapping, it was like everybody knew who I was. They walked me into this conference room. All the executives were in the conference room. They sat me down. They said, Charlie, because of your film, we have decided to change the direction of our marketing for this year. And I'm thinking to myself, because I was a businessman. I'm like, this is a Dow 30 company. Yeah. Like, this is like, they probably have their marketing plans built out a year or two in advance. And what transpired from it was a film that I helped create. Dream Crazy, the Colin Kaepernick commercial. When they put that commercial out, I got to be in it. It was named after my campaign, Dream Crazy. And Nike stock price went up billions.
Okay, let's pause there for a second. I'm getting the chills over this because of a couple of things. A, I didn't know that story. Mm-hmm. It's amazing what you're speaking into existence and manifesting. However anyone ever talks about it, you're putting it out there. But like in my head, I also have this connection to Nike. Like Nike, just do it. Ruben, live through love. And one day, just do it's going to say live through love, and we're going to take it somewhere. And I'm like, I want Tinker and I to collab on some Jordan 1. So like, I'm hearing you, and I'm like, I got goosebumps, and I'm like, I want to do the uniform for the Olympics. I've designed them already. So I'm feeling that right there. We're going to link that up and make sure people could see it. Okay. I just had to get that. Go ahead. Continue.
Well, one, that word right there, that word unlocks all possibilities. Yeah. And that's why I truly believe in what you are going to do is going to be one of the biggest global things. And that's why when I walked in, I was like, I'm inspired by you. I get to be here. Like, cause I've never seen people as they are. I've always seen people as they still are, but like their future. Yeah. And it's like, I get so inspired by you because I literally see like, not today, Ruben, which is unbelievable, but like the most insane brand. I mean, you got the best word in the world and you stick to it and you don't deviate and you stand on your brand and your values so much. But anyways, Nike created the Colin Kaepernick commercial. And I got to watch myself on the Super Bowl in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. And that was all the proof I needed. Yeah. That God is real and that miracles can happen and manifestation. And when we close our eyes and we see those visions, it's done. Time just hasn't caught up yet. I don't exactly know what time is, but I do know that it moves in linear form, but it was my story already written. Is all of our stories already written to where if we are given a dream, it's not a if. It's literally done as long as we take the opportunity to pursue. But like, I didn't play for the Lakers and I'm not in the Olympics. I'm not fast. And, you know, I was able to, when I left the music industry, I was able to do 5 marathons and I lost 130 pounds and I reversed my brain tumor and I did an Ironman in New Zealand and I rode my bicycle from Los Angeles to New York. And it was like all those things were proof that I was always meant to be an athlete. And God rewarded me with that vision on the highest scale. I got to like walk into an airport and see myself on the cover of Runner's World magazine every day for 30 days. Like, it was like, wow, like I got to be an athlete. And in that moment, that dream come true moment, which felt totally different than any sensation that I experienced in the music industry. Music industry was full of sensations. Like, yeah, we like had a illustrious career. But that true dream, that 1 + 1 = 1,000, not the 1 + 1 = 2. Like the music industry to me was like, I did this and I got this. It was 1 + 1 = 2. It was transactional and I climbed my ladder to success. But I got to experience a miracle. And that dream come true moment, I said, you know what? I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to give other people that dream come true moment. I don't know how many people I could do in my lifetime, but every day I'm going to wake up and see if I can give people that feeling because it's the greatest feeling I ever had. And I would like consider myself a philanthropist. Like I have a foundation, but I like to innovate and I like to change things. Like we changed hip hop. We took hip hop from old school to viral. Like we invented viral. Well, I'm on a mission to do that with philanthropy. Philanthropy is old school. A whole bunch of older people in suits, just like the music industry was. Stuffy. And then it's like, how can we make it new, fun, hip, use social media? I did it with Soulja Boy in the music industry. Now I'm doing social media for the first time with philanthropy. So I'm just repeating the same thing I did. 2007, we did the Soulja Boy stuff. And then my artists, 2008, 2009, we're 2022. And I'm like attacking, philanthropy with the same methodologies of how to build fan bases, how to make real like movements, but making philanthropy cool. Just like you're making love cool.
No, perfect. It's one of the things I kind of say is like, we're making love cool. Because if you Google love or love gear, I don't like calling it love gear, but let's call it love gear. What you see online is like, I wouldn't wear that. But I do want to take a few steps back. Okay. There's a couple things that you said that I want to dive into. And one is, it's up to you to choose your opportunity. So the dreams are there, the energy's there, and if you believe it, but if you didn't choose it, would you have gone down that path? Would it have happened?
So how I choose the opportunities is I have a process. One, the world, the universe. It's like how things work. It's just like a restaurant. You get what you order. And I try to make sure I order certain things because I've ordered certain things before and I got it. It might have been bad. But like the law of attraction is literally like if I'm going into a new opportunity or if there's an opportunity in front of me, like we start businesses and we might be like, oh, you got to grind. It's going to be hard. Or people might be telling you it's hard. It's hard. Like we're always going to it with this like war mentality.
Yeah.
But
the negative side of it.
The negative side, which is true, it is going to be hard. But I'm going to ask for easy. Oh, it's going to be easy. Like anytime I tell my mom I'm about to do something, I remember when I got fired from working for Soulja Boy, I went home to my mom because I had to, come off tour, get on the train, go back to my mom's house. I was like, Ma, I'm on a winning streak. This is the best thing that ever happened to me. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, because the cameraman isn't getting rich. The manager is. So I'm going to be a manager. And she's like, what do you know about managing artists? I'm like, I'm going to be the best in the world. Like, I'm literally thinking, oh, it's going to be easy. Like, I'm always finding that delusional optimist inside of me. It's like, this is going to be easy. When I, told, people, I'm going to be a Nike athlete. I didn't say I'm going to grind. It's going to take 10 years. I'm going to end up trying out for the Olympics and this sport. No, it's going to be easy. I'm going to make this little video and they're going to see it. And then boom, we're going to be in a commercial. You get what you order. And like the crazy ones, they talk a certain way. They talk crazy. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's going to be easy. So when you say it's going to be easy, you actually show up for the opportunity. Where like in high school, you don't want to go to the hard class. You want to go to the easy class. So if I say it's going to be easy and I'm only looking for the easy routes, guess what I do? I show up. And showing up is pretty much like 90% of the battle to doing anything. But if you think it's hard, you might get in your head, think about all the things that can go wrong. You end up never showing up. And one day you die and you take all those dreams to the grave with you.
Yeah. And I mean, talk about showing up. There's a couple mantras and things I always say, like going to the gym every day is tough.
Yeah.
But just showing up, that right there in itself, whether you just go stretch or not, is one thing. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go earn the day. I'm going to earn the day by this is what I do every morning. This is how I move forward. But if you don't show up, what are you going to do? Ride the pine in the sideline for the rest of your life and your own life and be a spectator? That's not cool. And it really hurts me and drives me crazy when I see people doing that. They kind of just phone it in. Well, this is it. I guess this is it. And then they look at me, I'm like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Like I'm here and I'm looking here, but they're like, but you're already there. You've made it. I'm like, I haven't made shit. I am nowhere where I'm trying to get to. So again, as we have to show up. I love how you're saying, you just got to hit the easy button. Hit the easy button. Show up.
I had to do it recently because like I've been struggling with my weight again. So I've gained over the past 2 years, I've gained 50 pounds. And it's been just like it's like befuddled me. And so about 9 days ago, I was like, I'm gonna start food journaling. And my initial thought is like, food journaling sucks because it's so hard. You gotta count every single thing. And my brain went into this place of how, hard it is when you're busy and traveling and carrying around this big old notebook. And then I thought about it. I'm like, what if I timed the amount of time it takes me to food journal? Like actually like time it out per day. It's like 7 minutes a day. Where in my head is like, oh, I gotta do all this counting and 7 minutes. So if I reshift my focus and just find the easy part of it, 7 minutes. That's it.
Anyone can find 7 minutes.
I can find 7 minutes, but it's just like refocusing my brain to do that. So yeah, that's like a little life hack. Like, you know, find the easy. There's 2 ways to look at every situation. You know, if there's a bad situation, I'm gonna try to find something good in it. Like I gotta find an angle. I was tested with something last night, and it was just driving me nuts. And I was like, I gotta find the good angle. And I'm just like searching for all these doors in my mind. And I'll literally go through door after door. Because a lot of times when we have something negative, we keep going through that same negative door. But I'm just like searching. There's got to be another door. And then I keep looking at it from all the different perspectives. I'll put myself at the different seats at the table so I could see it from a different angle. And then when I find it, I'm like, bling, all negativity gone. And it frees me. And that's how I'm able to stay in my love frequency. Because the key is to stay in that love frequency. Because the love frequency is how you unlock all magic. Yeah. Like love is like a vibration. And that vibration is, to me, God. So God is love. So it's like when I want to receive a miracle of some sort or experience something that is just like I didn't control, like you can slide in the DMs of anyone in the world, like not like Instagram, but like you like I needed Nike to see me, so I like slid into their DMs, like in the
virtual energetic DMs, yeah.
And it's all love. Like love is how you reach. Like it's like good cell phone reception. There's nothing more frustrating than having bad cell phone reception. It's like when you're on an elevator, there's these blockages. And that blockage is usually fear or these like lower frequencies that strip you away from love. But when you step off that elevator and there's no more blockages, that love, it reaches. And it's just if somebody's stuck in those negative frequencies, just step off the elevator, try it. That love frequency unlocks everything.
So let's dive into like that's exactly my jam. Like what you're talking about, that's your way of saying it, but we're talking the same thing. We operate out of love or we operate out of fear. And that's it. Why do I choose love? I have gratitude and be humble and anything can happen and you are beautiful and you belong here. All those types of murals and work and mantras that I say, but it all falls from love.
Yep.
And if we're constantly locking into love, we're looking at responding to life now instead of reacting to life, right? Finding the opportunity. Pandemic happened to everyone. Lots of people lost money and this and that, but it was an opportunity to find the next thing. Where do you shift? Where are we going? What's the impact we're going to?
I got a story to tell you about the pandemic and love.
Let's do it.
So in September 2019, I was going through my Instagram archives. So Neve right here, she handles all our social media, right? And she pulled up all the archives and I was like, let me just look here. September 2019, I had a prophecy. And I had no idea what was about to happen, but I had a prophecy and I write it and I speak it. I said, 2020, I'm going on the biggest journey I've ever done, bigger than when I biked across America, bigger than the Ironman, bigger than anything. I said, I'm going on the biggest journey and it's going to blow my mind. And I posted that on my stories. I didn't know a pandemic was coming. Pandemic came, right? And usually when something bad happens, we label it as bad. But for me, I'm always looking for that gratitude in the bad situation. And when you find that gratitude in the bad situation, it's like this magic invisible curtain pulls back and you see all these opportunities and it becomes really fun. Like it just becomes so fun. It doesn't take long to find gratitude in something, but I try not to get sucked up in the news. And I was like, no, this is a blessing. Just like when I got fired. No, this is the best thing that ever happened. So I'm in Sedona, quarantined by myself. Just broke up with my girlfriend a week before. And I called my mom and I said, what would you say if I moved into an RV and started touring around the country. Now, they told us to be inside. And I'm like, I want to launch a tour, the Dream Machine Tour. Because I did it when I biked across America, but that was 2 years before. Dream Machine was just sitting, which is actually pretty interesting. So I had this RV, right? Dream Machine. And I had given up on my journey life because I needed to find a way to make money. So I was going to sell my RV and just become a motivational speaker, which was like killing me inside because it's like, I didn't want to just be a motivational speaker. Like I love journeying. I like doing bold things. Yeah, motivational speaking pays really well. But like I sold my bus to somebody.
How'd that feel though?
Oh God, watching somebody else go on a journey in my bus. Oh God, it stripped my soul. Like watching somebody else be so freaking bold to where they were buying a bus and they're launching a tour. And there I am just watching him as I'm sitting in my house in Manhattan Beach, just watching somebody be bold. And inside I was like, I'm supposed to be on a journey. That's what I was here for.
Yeah, that was your dream driving away in that moment.
It was driving away. But guess what? That bus came back to me.
Of course.
So there was a situation where the person ended up not liking the bus because it broke down, ended up leaving it in Michigan. So you could just have this doggone thing back. Pandemic hit. And this thing is just somewhere in Michigan. And technically it's mine because he said, you can have this thing back. It breaks every day. And buses break every day.
Yeah.
Anyways, we bought a new bus. It breaks every day. Still broken. And pandemic hit and I found all this beauty. I was like, they told me to stay inside. No, people need help right now. People don't need to, like, could be inside, but I know there are people who need help and there's nobody that can get to them, or there's like, it's just hard because we have to be isolated. And I found the beauty in the pandemic and I went on the biggest journey I ever went on in my life. And I somehow knew it in 2019, September. And here I am, April 2020, pulling that bus out, getting it wrapped. I hit the road, called my best friend Langford, said, man, I need you out here. And we're touring across the country. We picked up all these dream hitchhikers. It's now the dream team. And we built one of the hottest new philanthropies in the world. Like our foundation is growing rapidly and we're the new age Make-A-Wish. And we're getting, hundreds of thousands in donations every month.
Yeah.
It's been the greatest journey of my life. And I guess the lesson in it is if something bad is happening, if you're looking for the gifts, you will find them. You will see what you're looking at. You literally, like right now, my brain is soaking in probably billions of pieces of data of everything in this room. But I have to pick. My reticular activator has to pick what it wants to process so my brain doesn't go haywire. So if I pick to see the beautiful things, or if I pick to see the love in the world, I'm going to see the world as love. If I pick to see the bad things in the world, I'm going to see the world as hate or fear. Now, I pick, okay, pandemic hit, this is an opportunity. That's that delusional optimism. That's that winning streak. Like, oh no, this is a winning streak. This is good because now we're going to launch this tour. It's perfect time to start a foundation. Now it's going to become a magnet in a world of darkness. If I'm a little light, all these people are attracted.
Yeah, it's contagious.
And I got surrounded by the greatest people on this earth, my team, and all my blessings came from the darkest moment. And I say, Santa Claus don't deliver the presents when it's bright out. Santa Claus delivers the presents in the dark. So when it's dark, it's present time. And that's how I get out of that fear and I get into that love and then the blessings come.
Well, this has been amazing. And I'm hearing a couple things. I want to recap a little bit. Number one, you are in charge. You're the author of your life and you can manifest any dream you deem possible if you choose it. Number two, is reframing the conversation. I say, look at the world through the lens of love. You know, we can look at it through the lens of fear. It's also abundance and scarcity. And it's also reframing the way the world defines things, right? Because at the beginning, you were talking about how you wanted to be an athlete. You're slow, you're overweight, you're not an athlete by the definition and standards of the world. But you proved it wrong. And you are an athlete. You're an athlete because you choose to be an athlete. And on my list is to do a marathon. Have yet to do one. I want to do one. You said you did 5. On my list is to do an Ironman. Haven't done one. You've done one. You've bicycled across the country. I mean, I played 3 sports, played college football, and competed at every level of CrossFit. And I haven't done half of those things. So you're definitely an athlete.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just wanted to say that. And come train with me anytime. Come down. We train over here at Deuce, bro. We'll have a good time.
All right now.
So what's next? What else is happening? What can we see from you, the dream team?
I mean, we're dreaming big right now, Ruben. We're dreaming real big. We really feel like the future of philanthropy is going to be birthed in this movement where we're going to add hundreds of millions of people to our army of love, because that's what we call our fan base. We call it the army of love. We don't call them Charlie Rocket fans. No, this is way bigger than me. Like, everybody who we involve in our projects helps change people's lives and make people's dreams come true. And I look at it like we're in our infancy stage. We look at launching tours alongside the biggest artists in the world, music artists. You know, as they're touring, Dream Machine tours right there, making dreams come true. And it becomes this like movement of entertainment and changing lives, because I come from the entertainment business. We're going to launch this thing called Dream Team Tuesdays, where all over the country we have chapters where all of our fans come together. We have it at movie premieres. Like, it's like a movie premiere every Tuesday, but it's for our YouTube channel. And then we got live podcasts at Dream Team Tuesday that streams to all the chapters across the country. We might have 250 theaters unlocked, and all of our fans congregate and get to know the other dreamers and the other people in the army of love. And people are all connecting on like a very high frequency. We got a TV show coming up with Steve Harvey, who's executive producing it. But really, it's just reinventing philanthropy in the biggest way possible. And yeah.
It's amazing. I can't wait to see what's happening, what's coming, how I can get involved, what we can do together.
Army of love. We got to do something.
Yeah.
We got to do something with that army of love, because we gave everybody the uniform to wear. And it really feels like a team, like a dream team.
So on that, let me give you this one example of why what I say is I had a project called the Million Tea Project that I want to get started and going. And basically you can get a love tea, pretty low cost, and then give a love tea. So I kind of just gave you one. And the message behind it is you give it to someone that needs love. Technically, if you keep them both for yourself, whatever, or give it to a friend, whatever, but like go out of your way to really be like, I'm going to give it to this homeless guy or this barista or this whoever that really needs it. But the thought process behind it is the average human being walks by, let's say, 30 people a day, right? We're not talking pandemic, lockdown or anything, but let's just talk about it. The average person, and I'm not talking about the walker and the commuter on public transportation. But if you wear love and those 30 people see love, that's 30 people that see love. If 1 million people are wearing this shirt, that's 30 million people seeing love. Now tell me that doesn't move the needle. And then if 30 million then pass out a shirt, that's 60 million. And it's just about the impression of love. It's not about the shirt. It's just, how do we create world peace? By changing one person, not by solving it for the world. So like, that's a thing. So maybe that's something we can make happen.
Yeah. That's amazing. I want to help.
Yeah. So I think that right there could be something Army of Love, get it all going.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like movements.
That's what it's all about.
Especially movements of love.
And then if we could just move people, why murals? I just painted a mural one day. And then I started learning more and more about it. And it was, wow, 40,000 people on Lincoln drive by this first mural I ever painted. 40,000 people. And you might not know the story, so I'm going to talk to you about it. It says, "Who will you be?" on the left. And on the right was my silhouette. And it was words: leader, worthy, responsible, joy, love, gratitude. And what led me to that mural is, at the time I was in finance. I was successful. Hold on to that.
Oh God, keep going.
And I'm like, I'm depressed. I'm unworthy. I'm a victim. And I had this thought process. I'm like, dude, I'm born in LA. I am fit. I'm healthy. I'm successful. Why am I depressed? Why am I feeling this way? It's like, I'm not broken. It's just, I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing. And then I looked at that mural as an opportunity. Like, today I'm going to choose to be worthy, responsible, and a leader. And then I'm going to go to the next person with that attitude and make them feel that. And then there's a Starbucks across the street. So I'm like, I got up at 6, went to work, was in the office by 7:30, suit and tie. So like, I was in that drag. And this barista that gets up at 4 to serve someone their coffee at 5. And most grumpy people, my experience is that they're just angry a-holes in the morning. And what's that poor kid getting all that energy being bombarded? So what if someone that was waiting in that line, because it was a really long line at Starbucks on Lincoln, saw my wall and said, I'm going to be grateful. And then they took that gratitude energy to this barista instead of like, I'm running late, you messed up my order, but like, you know what? Thank you for being here early for me so I could have my coffee, so I could get to my job happy, caffeinated. And that's the continuation of the whole thing. This was before it was live through love. This was before anything. And then the next mural was anything can happen, anything can be. It's about living in possibility. And the next one is you are beautiful. And that's how this whole thing went off. And I had no idea what it would become. But that's just the cliff notes on what did that first mural mean. And it's about choosing love and choosing these ways of being and everything that you're talking about, choosing your dream and moving forward, and just life will take you anywhere, and just be open to receiving that.
I have an idea. I think we should run a social experiment to where we do a mural and it's 2 sides, like you said. One is love, and we put all these roses on the wall. And one is money, and we put $10 bills or $20 bills, and we see what people actually choose. And I guarantee you they will all go take that money, and the only thing left is roses. But like, we got to choose love. We got to fight the temptation, because sometimes it's easier to operate in the lower frequency. But like, the person who does choose love, I'd love to interview them.
Yeah.
Why did you choose love? Because that's a manifestation. Obviously, choosing the money is too, but like, love is what we're all secretly craving. We might need money, but love is what we really all need. And how many of us actually choose it when we wake up in the morning? Because we might wake up and we might not never tell God, send me love. But we'll say, send me money. But we might not say it. But if we have love, that might unlock all the blessings. But that would be a fun experiment.
Dude, I love that. Let's do it. There's a question that I just randomly ask people sometimes. Like, if I ask you to list all the things that you love, what are your top 3 things?
Things I love? I love my life because it's amazing. I love my friends and family. And I love being on a journey, which kind of goes into my life. But I really do love being on a journey. Like, it's my happy place.
So out of all the people that I've asked this, maybe 2 other people have said their life.
Okay.
Most people say my kids, my wife, my dog, my Mercedes, my house, my job, my Louis Vuitton shoes, like just random stuff. And I'm like, why didn't you make your own list? Some people just lose it. Other people just don't get it. And I think it's up to us to continue showing people, like, choosing yourself and choosing love is not an egotistical thing. It's not narcissistic when you're coming from the space of, okay, I love you today. What am I going to do for you to show up in the world to give the world love back?
There's a quote my mom always says. She said, I love love. I love love.
Yeah.
Mama Rocket. I don't know if she made it up, but she always says it. But it's like, yeah, like if you love, then it's just gonna radiate.
Mhm.
And then everything you see is love. And
Yeah.
then the world becomes so beautiful. And then when the world becomes so beautiful, you feel beautiful because you are what you see.
Yeah.
You see bad in other people. It's probably because you're bad. You choose love, then you see love. You know, somebody might be making a mistake, but you might just say, oh, they'll figure it out because you're choosing to find the love in the situation.
Mhm. Totally.
Yeah.
And I mean, I always say it, and I have to preface it. We're not talking rom-coms and unicorns and foo-foo. We're talking about doing the work,
Yeah.
putting in the reps. I mean, even when you're in the space of love, like you're going to break down and cry and you're going to get emotional, and it's okay because now you're breaking through something.
Mm-hmm.
What was that barrier? But as long as you keep going that way, like I'm going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll move through that. So how do you define living a life through love?
It's an everyday choice of waking up. Like we all get to make a choice when we wake up. And, you know, like I'll start my day with something positive. I'll text a friend. I say, today's going to be amazing. Like that's immediately loving the day, loving the possibilities. And it's, you know, how you start is how you finish. If I were to start my day with news, I'm starting with fear. But instead, I'm starting with something positive. And I'm like, ooh, today's going to be amazing. And that might not be saying the word love, but that is. It's loving today. And then I go throughout my day, and if I'm tested with something, I'm going to be like, oh no, but I'm about to have the greatest comeback of all time. You know, I'm going to turn today around. You know, I was talking to Neve about this morning because she was tested with something. And she's like, giving me that same energy. She's like, okay, I had a bad morning, but I'm going to turn it around. But it's a choice. Love is a choice. Love is a frequency. It's like a radio station. If you're on a station that doesn't, you know, connect, it's going to be staticky. But I try to choose the love station. And that love station is just a frequency that we vibrate at. So I send it out, a signal. And what you send out is what you receive. So then I start receiving love. So then, you know, in order to send love, it's actually a process, believe it or not. The first step for me is saying, I know I'm protected. So like understanding that you're protected, because if you don't feel protected, you're going to be in survival mode. And survival mode is a fear frequency. And if you're in fear frequency, you cannot love. It's very hard to love if you are running from a cougar. It's trying to kill you. It's just very hard to love in that moment. You are having to survive. So first step, I know I am protected. If you feel protected and you feel like today is going to be amazing and you know it, that's step one. I am protected. When you feel protected, it opens up the opportunity to give love. Because if you feel abundant, you might go give somebody a smile. You might give somebody a hug. You might send that extra text message. It's just that extra emoji that just changes the frequency of the text. You might be like, okay, as a response, or you'd be like, okay, heart, star emoji. That just changed the frequency, but that's usually what you send when you feel good. So then you send love. And when you send love, you receive love. And you start receiving blessings. When you send love, you start receiving blessings. And when you receive blessings, it's important to give blessings. Okay? So feeling protected, it's a choice. Costs you no money. Sending love is a choice. It costs you nothing. Receiving blessings is abundance. And when you receive abundance, it's very important to give blessings. Now, when you give blessings, it might be an extra $1, it might be a better tip, it might be something. You start doing that in the world, which I do every day. Is like, I just try to give something. When you give blessings, you receive more protection. And when you receive more protection, because you get really protected when you start giving. then I can give more love. Then I receive more blessings. And then I'm able to give more blessings. And when I give more blessings, I receive more protection. When I receive more protection, I'm just climbing this ladder of love. But it starts in the morning. So living a life of love is a choice. And there's a step before love, and it's that protection piece. It's the unlocker of love, because we got to get out of fear.
Yeah. And being protected. I love how you frame that, because a lot of times from conversations I've had with people or myself in past relationships, coming from love at all times, you're being very vulnerable. And sometimes we think vulnerability is a weakness and it means we're going to get hurt and we're going to break our hearts and we're going to, but if you know you're going to be open and vulnerable, you're also protected because love is protecting you. You don't have to go down this rabbit hole, which again goes down to fear.
Yeah. In the dictionary, the word vulnerable means likely to be preyed on. That's the actual definition. And I think that's a lie, to be honest, or how we use it in the English language just isn't correct. We should probably find another word, because like we take, when somebody becomes vulnerable with other people and they're honest, I call it really honesty, to be honest.
Just open.
Like, just open and honest. I'm not likely to be preyed on in that moment because I'm disarming anything that can attack me, because I went ahead and said it. If we think about the movie 8 Mile, when Eminem just was honest, I live in a trailer park. Like, he couldn't lose in that moment. He was honest. It didn't make him more likely to be preyed on. It put up a massive shield of protection by just being honest.
Great
like
example.
I said in this, I've gained 50 pounds. You can't attack me for gaining weight if I said it. I'm struggling with it. I'm trying to figure it out.
You put it
and
out
I'm
there.
trying every day. And that means people don't attack me because they see I'm trying. You know?
Well, amazing, man. Thank you so much for coming here, being open.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Being
Yes, sir.
vulnerable. And we'll redefine vulnerability. Vulnerability is walls down, open, showing you my heart.
Yeah.
The new definition.
I like that.
Where can people find you?
Just search at Charlie on Instagram or TikTok. Or you could find the foundation. Everything we do, Dream Machine USA. But just Google, you could just search anything, really.
Cool.
I'm out there.
We'll link it all up. We'll wait for the book. That's got to be coming one day, right?
I've written 2 books, but I haven't put them out. Maybe soon.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for the right moment.
It's never the right time until you make it the right time.
I know. All right, Ruben. Thank you, man. Love you, man.
Love you too, bro.